Hello and welcome to this exciting journey into the world of APIs or Application Programming Interface. Today we're going to uncover what APIs are, why they are so crucial in modern software development, and how they can seamlessly integrate different software components, especially in client server architectures. By the end of this lecture, you'll have a solid understanding of APIs and be ready to explore how they can interact with Flutter in building dynamic applications. Now, let's talk about the definition of APIs. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is an API? In simple terms, an API is a set of rules and protocols for building and interacting with software applications. Think of it as a menu in a restaurant. The menu provides a list of dishes you can order, along with a description of each dish. When you specify which dish you want, the kitchen, that is the system, prepares the dish and serves it. In this analogy, the menu is the API, the order is the request, and the dish that is served is the served the dish that is served is the response to you. Okay, now let's talk about in a bit of software engineering terms. So let's say you have the front end of an application. So the front end of the application, let's say it's like Flutter or uh, it's built with like HTML, CSS, or like JavaScript. Now it needs to communicate with the back end of the application. For uh, for our case, let's say if we talk about the budget app or let's say the portfolio, our Firebase is the backend. So we are using API to communicate between the front end and the backend. Now, an API can be used to communicate not only from the front end to the backend. The backend can be anything, right? It can be like made with Django, Java, Rust, anything. It can also be used to communicate between different backends. So let me give you an example. When I was working in this e-commerce company, it's India's first patented e-commerce company. So there, what used to happen is that in the mobile section, we used to have the front end entirely mobile, and and they used to communicate using REST API to the backend of uh, backend, and that was made with Java. Now, the Java backend would also communicate with another backend for data analysis, which is made with Python. So the APIs are not only communicating with the front end and the backend, but it is also communicating with uh, one backend to other backends and so on. So it is basically the interaction between two softwares. That's more like it. So yeah, what's the importance of API? Now, you might wonder why APIs are so important in software development. APIs are the backbone of modern digital communication. They allow different software systems to communicate with each other in seamless, efficient manner. Just as I told you, the front end was with Flutter, the a part of the back end was with Java, and then the Java was communicating with another server which is made with like Python. So, in a world where software applications are increasingly interconnected, APIs are vital for creating the rich integrated experience users need needs to expect. Now, let's talk properly about some real world examples of API use. When you check the weather on your phone, an API is pulling data from a remote server to provide you with the latest forecast. Or when you're using a social media app, APIs are working behind the scenes to fetch your friends' latest posts, send messages, and update your feed. These interactions are made possible through APIs, which handle requests and responses between the app on your phone and the server. Now let's talk about client server architecture. Okay. One of the most common uses of APIs is in client server architecture, a fundamental concept in modern computing. In this setup, the client, which can be your smartphone or web browser, that's the place where our Flutter app or on web or like on Android iOS is actually hosted, that sends a request to a server through the API. The server, which stores the data and runs the application's backend logic, processes this request and returns the appropriate response. This architecture is essential for the internet and online services. It's the reason you can browse social media, shop online, and access cloud based applications from anywhere in the world. Now, think about your daily life for a moment, okay? Every time you use an app to order food, book a ride, or send a message, or even like watching this Udemy video, you're interacting with APIs. They work tirelessly in the background, making sure that your digital experience is smooth, reliable, and secure. Without APIs, the digital world as we know it would grind to a halt. They are the unsung heroes of our interconnected world, facilitating seamless interactions between different software systems. So now you know they are basically the backbone of the internet. The evolution of APIs has been remarkable. From simple request response mechanism, they have grown to become complex systems that support secure, efficient, and scalable software interactions. Today's APIs support various data formats, handling complex authentication protocols, and ensure high performance communication between distributed systems. Why do you want to learn about AIs? Right? That's a valid question. We ask questions here. So, yeah, why is it important for you as a budding Flutter developer to learn about APIs? The answer is simple. In the world of app development, especially in a versatile framework like Flutter, APIs are integral. They empower your application to interact with the outside world, fetch data, send data, and offer dynamic content to users. Understanding APIs will enable you to build more robust, interactive, and user friendly applications. Now, let's talk about APIs in mobile development. In mobile development, APIs play a pivotal role. They allow mobile apps to access a server's resources, whether it's retrieving data from a database, sending user information for authentication, or integrating with third party services like payment gateways or social networks. APIs make it all possible. With the rise of cloud based services and the increasing complexity of mobile applications, mastering API integration is most crucial than ever for a Flutter developer or any software engineer working on the front end. Now, let's talk about the API mechanics. At its core, an API is about communicating and data exchange. When a uh, client actually means the application, all right? I mean, the front end of the application. Like a mobile app needs to access data or functionality, it sends a request to a server via an API. This request is usually made in a specific format, often as an HTTP request. The server, upon receiving the request, processes it, retrieves the necessary data, or performs the requested operations and then sends back a response. So, this is more like the basic stuff of it. This process might sound straightforward, but the power of APIs lies in their ability to abstract complexity. They expose only what's necessary for the interaction, hiding the integrate details of the server's internal workings. This, this abstraction is what makes APIs so versatile and allows developers to build on existing platforms without needing to understand every detail of their infrastructure. So, APIs in modern app development. In modern software development, APIs are more than just a technical tool, they represent a business model. Companies expose their functionalities through APIs, enabling other businesses to integrate and build upon their services. This has led to an ecosystem of interconnected applications, each leveraging the capabilities of others. For small startups to tech giants, APIs fuel innovation and collaboration in the tech team. As a Flutter developer, you'll often find yourself working with APIs, whether you're fetching user data, posting updates, or integrating third party applications, services. APIs are the gateway through which your Flutter app communicates with the web. The beauty of Flutter is its ability to provide a seamless experience across platforms, and APIs play a huge role in this. They ensure that your app, whether running on iOS, Android, or web, or three other platforms, can access and exchange data reliably. And one more thing about like there are different types of APIs. It's not just like REST API. One of the most important is like gRPC. I'm not sure if you know about this, but in Google, they only use gRPC, nothing else. So if you are just like going for an interview in like Google or something like that, make sure that you are really clear with uh, GPR, GPRC. Okay, so in the next part of our section, we'll explore different types of APIs in detail. We'll start with the RESTful API, the most commonly used type in web and mobile app. We'll also look into GraphQL, a powerful alternative to complex data operations. Touch maybe a bit on SOAP, knowing it's known for its strict standards and security features. And also, we are going to go through gRPC. So, and that brings us to the end of our introduction to APIs.